Hello students, I hope you are all doing fine at home. Welcome to the new lecture of physics. My name is Bipin Abram and let's get started. As always, this is your first class, so let's start the class by a word of prayer. I request all of you to close your eyes and pray along with me. Our Lord Heavenly Father, we thank you for giving us this beautiful day, Lord Father. Lord Father, as always, now we are going to study, Lord Father. Please help us to understand the topic well, Lord Father, so that we can use it for the betterment of society, Lord Father. In God's precious name we pray. Amen. Alright, so let's get started. So today's topic is equations of motion by graphical method. Okay, in the previous class we talked about graphical method. Now we already know what graphical method is. Today we have some additional topic, that is equation of motion. Now what do we mean by equation of motion? Like, that is the thing which we have to study today. Now we have to study equation of motion and we have to derive those equation of motion by graphical method. That is what today we are going to study. All right, so let's get started. First of all, we have to understand what do we meant by equation of motion. Basically, equation of motions are they are equations. So these equations will be describing your motion, right? These equations will tell you that how fast you are going while you're traveling, at what speed you are going, at what how much displacement, how much distance you would have traveled in your motion, and how much time you would have taken, and what is your acceleration. These informations can be can be deciphered by your equations of motion, right? So what exactly is these equations of motion? Let me give you an example. Now in order to there are certain equations which can tell you your initial velocity, your final velocity, your acceleration of your motion, how much time you will take, and how much distance you will cover, right? So but in order for the motion to do that, there are certain rules to it, right? So let's try to understand what all these rules are, right? Let's assume we have Ramu as usual, right? So Ramu is moving in a straight line, right? The important thing is that he's moving with uniform acceleration. That is the important thing. If your body is moving with uniform acceleration, then we can apply these equations of motion, right? So then it is possible to relate your v, u and a of the motion. V means your final velocity, u means your initial velocity, a means acceleration. We can relate the time as well as the distance too, right? And those those relations which relate all these physical quantities will be named as your equations of motion. I hope this is clear, right? So what are equations of motion? They are those relations which relate all these physical quantities, like your velocity, uh, like your acceleration, your time, your distance. All these physical quantities can be related with the help of your equations of motion. I hope this is clear. Okay, so we will be one more thing. These equations of motions were firstly discovered by, yes, none other than the great physicist Sir Isaac Newton, right? He discovered these equations of motion. There are three equations of motion: Newton's first equation, Newton's second equation, Newton's third equation. All right. So the first equation of velocity time relation, equation for velocity time relation. So basically, like I said in the topic, we will derive these equations of motion with the help of graphical method, right? We will derive this equation with the help of graphical method. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, uh, the first equation that we have to derive will be, basically, it's a velocity time relation. We have to relate velocity and time. So for that we will first make a graph, right? If you want to graphically derive your relation, the first thing is that we have to make a graph, right? So here it is. I have a velocity versus time graph. Let's say our Ramu is again traveling. Okay, okay, now before that, let me let's go back to our previous class. Let me give you a quick reminder what we have studied in our previous class. Now tell me, in our previous class we talked about distance time graph, we talked about velocity time graph, yes or no? So what are the things that we learned there? We talked about, in distance time graph we talked that the slope of the graph will give me the speed, yes or no? Do you remember? Yes, we have talked that the slope of a distance time graph will give me what? Yes, the speed. And we talked about, and when we talked about velocity time graph, there we talked that the area under the graph will give me the displacement, how much displacement I have traveled. I hope you remember all these things. All right. Okay, if you remember that, let's move forward. So from here, like I said, Ramu has been traveling, right? Now how he is traveling, let's look at this graph, right? So here we can see at 0 time, the velocity of Ramu is 3 meter per second. Yes or no? And as we go, as the time goes by, the velocity is increasing. At 1 second it is 4, at 2 it is 5, at 3 it is 6, at 4 second it is 7 meter per second, at 5 it is 8 meter per second, and 6 it is 9 meter per second, right? So gradually you can see there is a uniform acceleration there, yes or no, right? The acceleration is uniform, so that means we can apply the, yes, that means we can apply the equations of motion. Now here we are not applying it, we are deriving the equations of motion, right? So for that, let's try to find out something, right? So tell me, like I said, u means initial velocity, v means your final velocity, a means acceleration, t means time. These are the abbreviations for these all things, right? So from the graph, what are the things that you can say? Okay, I'll ask you, what is Ramu's initial velocity? Initial velocity is that velocity when the time is 0, the velocity of Ramu having will be the initial velocity. So you can see at time t is equals to 0, his initial velocity is 3 meter per second. Yes or no? I hope this is clear. Right? Okay, what is his final velocity? Final velocity according to this graph at t is equals to 6 second, it is, yeah, 9 meter per second. Yes or no, right? And how much time he has taken in order to get that 9 meter per second? That is 6 seconds. I hope this is clear. From the graph, these all things we can find out. All right. So I will do some labeling. You just very keenly listen to very keenly look at the labelings, right? So the first labeling is, I'm just labeling the velocity and the time axis of your last transaction, and then, yeah, these are the labels I'm doing. Origin is at O, then there is A point I label, B point, C point, D point, and E point. Like I said, the initial velocity, the u is OA. OA is u. U means the initial velocity that Ramu is traveling, right? Similarly, CB, that is V. V is your final velocity. I hope this is clear. C, this is your CB, right? That is 9 meter per second. How much time it has taken? Yes, 0 to 6, that is 6 seconds, and that I labeled as T, right? And the difference between your final and initial velocity is V minus U. I hope this is clear, right? So it will be better if you write it, if you write all the labels. So OA is your initial velocity. You just write it in your copy so that we should not get back to the diagram again and again, right? So OA is your initial velocity, that is U, right? BC, can you see BC? Yes, BC is your final velocity, right? That is your V, right? OC is the time interval it is taking in order to get that final velocity, right? OC is the time interval. We can also say OC as AD, OC both are same quantity. Yes or no? These are number, both are same quantity. I hope this is clear, right? Okay, BD is the change in velocity. That means final minus initial velocity. That means BC minus CD, right? You just write these things. These things will be important now, like as we go. further in our derivation. I hope these things are clear, right? So uh, clear hai? Okay, so these are the labels here, right? Keep that in mind. So remember, we are finding a relation between velocity and time, right? Okay, so let's move forward. Okay, so from the previous class, from the previous to previous class, we talked about acceleration. Acceleration was given by change in velocity divided by time taken, right? This is how we defined our acceleration. Change in velocity means final minus initial velocity, and time taken is your t, right? So from your graph, I hope आपने लिखा हुआ होगा. From our graph, we already know change in velocity is your bd and time taken is your ad. Yes or no? Right? So bd divided by ad, and that is, see, ad can also, ad is same as your oc. I showed you in the graph, right? I hope you have written your copy too, right? So I hope this is clear. So we are just substituting the values, right? Substituting the values. BD is your A is equals to BD is your V minus U. That is change in velocity, final minus initial velocity, and AD was your time taken. I hope this is clear. And now I will do a simple cross multiplication thing. By cross multiplication, I will get AT is equals to V minus U, right? At is equals to V minus U, or I'll get V is equals to, or I can I can substitute here and there, right? I can do a transfiguration, and I'll get V is equals to U plus AT, right? आप अपने U को उधर भेज दीजिए, U को AT को sorry U को AT के उधर भेज दीजिए, and you will get V is equals to U plus AT. I hope this is clear, right? So I'll get this equation. V is equals to U plus AT. We were supposed to find out a velocity time relation, and we can see here I have a velocity time relation, right? I have V is equals to U plus AT. So this equation is what you call as Newton's first equation, right? So here, if you see, your U is initial velocity, your V is final velocity, A is acceleration, and T is time taken, right? So here you can see that your, if somebody give you the final velocity of your travel, and somebody can give you the acceleration and time, then I can find out the initial velocity. Similarly, if somebody give me initial velocity, somebody gave me the acceleration and the time taken for the journey, then I can find out the final velocity, right? Out of these three, if out of these four quantities, if three quantities are given, I can automatically find out the fourth quantity, right? So this is your first Newton's first equation of motion, right? So V is equals to U plus AT, right? So through this we can find out velocity, your final velocity, initial velocity, acceleration, and your time. I hope this is clear, right? So this is known as Newton's first equation of motion, right? If see, we will do numericals. In numericals, if somebody give us acceleration, somebody give us the time, and somebody give us the initial velocity, let's say initial velocity, let's say he started with from 0, then we can find out its final velocity, at what final velocity he will be traveling, right? So this is Newton's first equation of motion. All right, let's move to the next topic. That was the first relation, and that relation was velocity versus, sorry, the relation was velocity and time, right? Now next relation will be position and time, right? Here we will link the position and time. All right, now let's say the Ramu has traveled distance of s in time t. Like I said, Ramu has been traveling, and let's say he has traveled some s distance in some t time, right? Okay, and we already know that the area under the velocity time graph will give us the distance traveled. Yes or no? The area under the velocity time graph will give us the displacement or the distance traveled. Yes or no? Right? So all we will be doing is, if you want to relate the position time, if you want to find the position time relation, all we have to do is we have to find out the area under the graph. The area under the graph will give me the distance, right? And whatever the equation comes out, that will be our equation. I hope you get the idea. So what I'm going to do here will be is I will find out the area under the graph. All right, okay. So thus the distance traveled by Ramu in t time will be area under the graph. Yeah, yes. So let me look at the graph once again, right? Same thing, same graph it is, right? Velocity versus time, right? I'm labeling it O, A, B, C, and D and E, right? So area under the graph. Can you guys see the area under the graph? Tell me, area under the graph should it be A, B, D, C, O, and back to A? So can I see a trapezium A, B, D, C, O, A? Right? I can see a trapezium. I can do it. See, I can do it as trapezium also. I can do it as, as triangle plus rectangle. You can see a triangle ABD and a rectangle ADCOA. I hope you are with me. All right. Okay. So again, labeling AO is your initial velocity. BC is your final velocity. OC is your time. AD is also the time. Same thing, right? And your BD is equals to V minus U. Keep this in mind, right? Keep this in mind, and we are going to find out the area under the graph, right? So how I will do it? I will do it by dividing it into triangle and rectangle, right? I will divide it into ABDA as one triangle and AOCD, and I will find out the area, right? So you can see how will I find out the area for triangle ABD. Keep that in mind. For this triangle ABD, the area of a triangle is half into base into height, right? So half into base. What is my base? Base is my AD. AD is my time T, right? And height is my BD. BD is V minus U. Keep that in mind. I hope that is clear, right? And I will find out the area of rectangle ADCO. Area of rectangle will be, yes, length into breadth. Length will be your AO and breadth will be your OC. V in U into T. Very simple. I hope this is clear, right? If that is clear, okay. The distance traveled by Ramu in T time will be S is equals to area OABC, which is trapezium, right? Full it is trapezium. I can write it as area of triangle OADC plus area of triangle ABD. Yes or no? I can write it area of rectangle OADC plus area of triangle ABD, like I said, right? So simply we will do the calculations, right? Area of triangle is OA multiplied by OC. Area of triangle is half into length into half into base into height. Base is AD and height is BD, right? I'll simply substitute the values. So OA into OC. OA is your U, OC is your T, plus half into AD is your T, and BD is your A multiplied by T, right? A multiplied by T. Okay, I hope this is clear. So when I finally get the answer is S is equals to UT plus half AT square, right? So this kind of relation I will get. That is, the distance traveled by Ramu will be S is equals to UT plus half AT square, in which your S, you see, your U is initial velocity, your S is distance travel, is acceleration, T is time taken, right? So this is your second relation, your second equation of motion, in which if somebody give you the initial velocity, somebody give you the time, and somebody give you the acceleration, then you can simply find out how much distance you have traveled in your motion. I hope this is clear, right? In the previous relation, the relation was between velocity and time. Here the relation is between position and time, right? I hope this is clear. This is your Newton's second equation of motion. All right, so let's move on to the third one, right? Okay, equation for position velocity relation. Now this time the relation will be position and velocity, right? We will be talking about position and velocity. इससे पहले और सबसे first one it was velocity and time, second one it was distance and time, now the last one it is position and time, right? Again, let's say the distance traveled by Ramu in t time will be some s, right? And the distance, and obviously if you want to find out this, see, in the previous section we find out the area of trapezium by dividing it into, yeah, triangle as well as a rectangle. We added the area, right? But in this particular situation, I will simply find out the area of trapezium by the trapezium formula, right? I will not divide it into triangle and rectangle, but rather I will try to find out the area by simply applying the trapezium formula. All right, so let's do this. So trapezium formula is half into some, I'm sure you must have studied this in your maths. If you haven't studied, it's okay. You can you can by heart the formula. The area of trapezium is always given by half into sum of parallel sides multiplied by the perpendicular distance between them, right? This is the formula of trapezium, area of the trapezium, right? Half into sum of parallel sides multiplied by the perpendicular distance between them. This will, if you haven't studied, you will study, right? So it is better to by heart the formula. Area of trapezium is given as half into sum of parallel sides multiplied by the perpendicular distance between them. And let's again see the graph. You can see the graph, right? Again the labeling O, A, B, C, D and E. So like I said, trapezium A, B, D, C, O, A. This is the trapezium. Again I'm saying A, B, D, C, O, A. This is the trapezium we are talking, right? So like I said, what is the area of trapezium? Area of trapezium is half into sum of parallel sides. Now can you guys guess the parallel sides here? What are the two parallel sides here? Yes, AO and BC is the two parallel side of a prism. See, AB and OC is not the parallel side, but AO and BC are the parallel sides, right? So half into sum of parallel side, that is half into AO plus BC multiplied by the perpendicular distance between them. What is the perpendicular distance between them? These two parallel sides? Yes, it is AD. AD is the perpendicular distance between them. I hope this is clear. AD or OC both are the perpendicular distance between them. I hope this is clear, right? So this is how you will find out, right? Again, you know your U, your V, your T, right? And difference is V minus U, right? So trapezium is half into sum of parallel sides. Sum of parallel sides में आपका एक side हो गया U, another side is V, right? So U plus V multiplied by the perpendicular distance between them. Perpendicular distance between them क्या है? It is your T, that is AD. I hope this is clear, right? So OC, OA plus BC, the sum of two parallel sides multiplied by the perpendicular distance, that is OC divided by 2, the area of trapezium. I hope this is clear, right? Substituting the value, OA is U, BC is V and OT is T, and we will get S is equals to U plus V multiplied by T divided by 2, right? I hope this is clear. But here I will do one more thing. From first equation of motion, substitute the value of T. See, from your first equation of motion, you must have, see, we have studied your first equation of motion, that is, yes, V is equals to U plus AT. That was your first equation of motion. From there, I will substitute the value of T. See, if I find out the value of T, the value of T will be from the first equation of motion, T is equals to V minus U upon T, right? You can do it in your copy there, right? So we know V is equals to U plus AT, right? So put U को आप इस तरफ लेके ये V minus U is equals to AT, right? Then cross multiplication से A को नीचे भेजिए, T is equals to V minus U upon A. We will get the value of T, and all we have to do is substitute this T value in our S equals to in our above equation, right? So when I substitute this value, I will get equation S is equals to V plus U, V minus U upon 2A, right? So here V plus U, V minus U, here आपका इक्वेशन लग आपका जो आइडेंटिटी है वो लग जाएगा a plus b a minus v वाला, and this will become v square minus u square, and your 2a by a cross multiplication it will go on the other side. So the final equation that you will get will be 2as is equals to v square minus u square. This is your third equation of motion, and you can see I got the relation between your position and velocity. Your S and V is now related. So this is known as your third equation of motion, that is 2as is equals to v square minus u square, in which your u is initial velocity, v is final velocity, and a is your acceleration. I hope this is clear, right? So this is known as your third equation of motion. So if somebody gave you the velocities, then I can find out the distance, as well as somebody has to give the acceleration too, right? So I can find out the distance you have traveled, or I have given the distance traveled and I have given the acceleration, then I can find out the velocity, right? But somebody has to give me the initial velocity or the final velocity, one of the two, right? So I hope this is clear. Okay, if that is clear, let's try to find the practical application of this, right? So let's try to solve a question. By solving questions, we will be able to understand it much better, right? Okay, so the question is, a train starting from rest attains a velocity of 72 km per hour in 5 minutes. So there's a train which is traveling from rest and it attains a velocity of 72 km per hour in 5 minutes time, right? Assuming the acceleration is uniform. Okay, so here the assumption is already there, that we have to assume that the acceleration is uniform. So I can apply, the acceleration is uniform is given, so that means I can apply the equations of motion. The first thing you have to find is find the acceleration. You have to find the acceleration, and the second thing, the distance traveled by the train for attaining this velocity. Two things you have to find out. You have to find out the acceleration first, and then you have to find out the distance traveled by the train for attaining this velocity. Okay, so first thing, we have to write what all things that is given to us. A train starting from rest. This train is starting from rest, that means the initial velocity is 0, right? The initial velocity is 0 and attains a velocity of 72 km, and it has attained a velocity of 72 km. That means the final velocity is 72 km per hour, right? So I got the value of u, I got the value of v, and the time is also given, that is 5 minutes. Time is also given, that is 5 minutes. Okay, let me write all the things. So we have u is equals to 0, v is equal to 72 km per hour. I have converted into meter per second, that will be 20 meter per second, right? And I have also given the time. Time is 5 minutes, that is, if I multiply 5 into 60, I will get 300 seconds. So I have converted the initial and the final and the time into meter per second and second. I hope this is clear. So all these things are given. I have to find out the value of acceleration. Now think about all the relation in which I have u, I have v, I have t, and I have a2. Yes, remember the first equation of motion. First equation of motion was v is equals to u plus at, right? So here, okay, let me write first equation of motion, and that was v is equals to u plus at, right? Okay, so I know my v, I know my u, I know my t. All I have to do is find out the value of a, right? So let's put the value. V is 20, right? U is 0, a I don't know, I have to find out, and t is 300 seconds, right? So from this equation I can find out my acceleration as 20 upon 300 meter per second square, or the acceleration is 1 upon 15 meter per second square. Very simply, I'm able to find out the acceleration of my motion with the help of the equation of motion. Yes or no? Now the next part that I have to find out is the distance travel. Okay, now remember which equation out of 3 has your distance, has your velocity, and has your acceleration together. Yes, the third equation that we have just derived, that is 2as is equals to v square minus u square, right? So you can see 2, let's put the value 2, 1 upon 15, the acceleration that you just find out from the above part, right? 2 into 1 upon 15 into s that I don't know, right, is equals to v square is equals to v is your final velocity, that is 20 multiplied by 20 minus u square is 0, that is simply 0, right? So s is coming out to be for 400 into 15 by 2 meter, and s is coming out to be 3000 meter, or I should say 3 kilometer. So what does this state? This state that this train has traveled 3 kilometer with an acceleration of 1 upon 15 meter per second square. I hope this is clear, right? So with the help of equation of motion, we are able to find out how much distance it has traveled and by what acceleration it has been traveling, right? So how wonderful it is, right? So you have a set of relations by which you can find out that what kind of motion you are going to be, what kind of motion the body is going to do, right? At what time it will reach, at what distance. These all things we can find out with this equation of motion. All right. Okay, let me give you one more question. The question is this: a stone is thrown in vertically upward direction with a velocity of 5 meter per second. Okay, so you have a stone which is thrown vertically upward, ऊपर फेंका आप लोगों ने, with a velocity of 5 meter per second. Okay, if the acceleration of the stone during its motion is 10 meter per second square in the downward direction. Okay, now this is important. What will be the height attained by the stone and how much time will it take to reach there, right? So it's a good question. So you have a stone, let me give you animation. You have a stone, you throw the stone up, right? So when you throw the stone up with a velocity of 5 meter per second, so here you have to take note that your initial velocity is not 0, because you are throwing the stone, so the initial velocity is 5 meter per second. You're throwing the stone with 5 meter per second, right? And when you're throwing the stone, the acceleration is downwards. Acceleration is downwards means we're talking about this gravity effect. Gravity will keep pulling this stone downwards. That's why the acceleration is downwards, right? Acceleration is not upwards. Now this is very important. The velocity is going up, the acceleration is going down, right? So this means if my velocity is positive, my acceleration should be negative. ये समझ में आ रहा है आप लोगों को? See, your velocity is 5 meter per second upward, your acceleration is 10 meter per second, but it's in downward direction. That means if I take my velocity to be positive, my acceleration should be negative because it is in opposite direction, right? Yes or no? It is supposed to be that case, right? Your velocity is your vector quantity, acceleration is also vector quantity. Yes or no? Right? So keep that in mind, right? Okay, now let's look at the question here. So I have given my initial velocity, that is 5 meter per second. So what will be the final velocity? Think about it. आपसे पूछा क्या गया है कि what will be the height attained by the stone? Okay, when you throw a stone, think about it. When you throw a stone, there comes a situation at which the stone stops at the air and then it will follow the acceleration and come down. Yes or no? When you throw a stone upward, there is a movement and in the thin air where it stops and will come down. Yes or no? So here the question is asking you what height the stone will attain, मतलब how much height it will go till that stopping moment come and the stone will come down. That is what we are asked. We are asked to find out that distance, right? So now very carefully listen to me. Tell me, will my final velocity will be 0 at that point when the stone will stop? Yes, think about it. Will my final velocity be 0 at the point where the stone will be stopping? Yes, it will be 0. Right, I hope you're getting my point. So the initial velocity will be 5 meter per second. Final velocity will be where the stone will be stopping at the air. So at that point, the final velocity will be 0. Yes or no? I hope this is clear, right? And when the final velocity is 0 and how much distance I have traveled, that will be the height. Yes or no? I hope this is clear, right? So let me write all the things that is given. We have u is 5 meter per second, v is 0, right? Remember that v is that point where I have reached where my stone will be stopping, right? At that particular point my v will be 0, the final velocity will be 0, Yes or no? Right. The time I don't know. How much time will it take? And second, how much distance it will travel? I don't know, but I know the acceleration. Acceleration is minus 10 meter per second square. Right? This is important. Why it is minus? Because the direction is opposite to that of my velocity. Yes or no? Right? Okay. Let's try to solve this. Right? So first thing we will try to find out the distance travel, right? So think of a relation in which I have u, I have v, and I have a, and I also have s. Yes, Newton's third equation, right? It has, yes, it has v square, u square, and 2a. 2a is equals to v square minus u square. This is your Newton's third equation, right? So I have 2, then acceleration is minus 10, s I don't know. Your final velocity is u, your initial velocity is 5. 5 ka square, that is 5 into 5. So the distance that it will travel comes out to be this. See, negative sign is important because if you don't put the negative sign, your answer will be negative, which is very, very wrong. Your distance cannot be negative, right? Okay, so you'll get the answer 1.25 meter, right? Your S is coming out to 1.25 meter. That means it will travel a distance of 1.25 before stopping in air and then come back due to the acceleration due to gravity, right? Okay, the first part is done. Let's talk about the second part, the time part. Okay, which equation I can use for the time part? See, for the time part I can use both the equations, right? I'll do it from both the equations, right? I can use Newton's first equation, I can use Newton's second equation, right? The only difference here is that uh, in using Newton's second equation it becomes a little bit complicated, but if you use Newton's first equation you can very easily find out the answer, right? Let's try to do it from Newton's second equation. You know, second equation is s equals to ut plus half at square, right? So s, you already find out, you already, you know, we already know the s from the previous part, that is 1.25 meter, and your u is 5, t you don't know, plus half, acceleration is minus 10, and t square is something which you don't know. So you got a quadratic equation here. So when you solve this quadratic equation, you will get time is equals to half second. Quadratic equation, you can solve it by quadratic formula. You can solve it by splitting the middle term. It's up to you. It's your call. You can solve it. When you solve it, it comes out to be t is equals to half second. Or you can do it from Newton's first equation. It's very easy. You don't have to solve any quadratic equation. Here it will be v is equals to 0, right? V is 0, u is 5, a is given minus 10, time is given t, and simply your time comes out to be half second. Very simple. You don't have to solve a quadratic equation here. You can solve it either way, whichever thing, you know, whichever way you want to solve it. It's up to you. From the second equation, you have to solve this quadratic equation, right? It looks a little bit complicated, but in this from the first equation it's very easily solved, right? So I hope you understand the gist of what we have studied. These three equations of motion can help you find out at what speed you are traveling, at what distance you will travel, at what acceleration you will be moving. So these are the things which we can find out these equations of motion. So these equations of motions are very important part of your mechanics or your motion part, right? So I hope you got the idea, right, of how to solve these questions and how we derive these equations of motion. All right, so these are the questions for homework which you will be doing, right? So these are the questions that you'll be doing. A bus starting from rest moves with a uniform acceleration of 0.1 meter per second square for 2 minutes. Find the speed acquired, the distance traveled. You can simply do it. A train is traveling at a speed of 90 kilometer per hour. Brakes are applied so as to produce a uniform acceleration of minus 0.5 meter per second square. Find how far the train will go before it is brought to rest. Yeah, you can do it. A racing car has a uniform acceleration of 4 meter per second square. What distance will it cover in 10 seconds after start? Right? So yeah, these questions you can do it. Keep, do it in your copy. Right? I hope you're getting what I'm teaching here. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me on Teams app. Right? I will be available there in the morning. Okay, and if you like the video, do give it a thumbs up. All right. Okay, so thank you for listening and have a nice day.